they'd be forced to formulate their budding expertise regarding crossovers, reverse layups, and three-pointers on observation alone. I hope the alien powers that be let everyone, and not just their most esteemed scientists, watch hoops. The game was designed to be enjoyed by all. Basketball is a relatively recent invention. It didn't crash land on Earth until the late 19th century, and it didn't arrive fully formed. The sport has undergone constant changes throughout its brief life, many of which were thought up by people who could not be described as basketball experts, especially in its early days, when that distinction did not yet exist. Despite its ever-evolving form, there remains a unique pull to the game that transcends routine fandom. Much like the Beatles' discography or Sandra Bullock's performance in Speed, basketball is maximally appealing to a staggeringly large audience. It's as if we're preconditioned in the womb to embrace it. While I can't remember the first time I saw the game being played, I am confident that my underdeveloped cerebral cortex responded warmly, "This must be basketball. It's rather nice." I live in the Bay Area, which was the center of the basketball universe for the better part of a decade, thanks to the success of the Golden State Warriors. Naturally, all anyone wants to talk about is basketball. I tend to cover sports for work, but I've long balanced that beat with writing on a whole slew of topics. As a result, I have found myself discussing hoops with concert harpists, cat behaviorists, and plasma physicists. I initially considered this to be small talk, common ground to explore before we got to the nitty-gritty of their respective fields. But it quickly became apparent that, if they had their druthers, we'd spend hours talking about Steph Curry. These are people who don't think like the athletes playing the sport, or like the writers covering it. For example, a wine critic once told me she thought that noted enophile LeBron James would make a good vineyard owner because he's a multitasker who prefers to delegate on the fly, and that his history with erratic teammates, like J.R. Smith, would come in handy when harvesting in unpredictable weather. This hypothetical vineyard stewardship was some of the most apt analysis I've encountered in all my years following basketball. Score one for viticulture. We all watch basketball differently. Not only did this realization help me build a greater appreciation for what had already been my favorite sport, but it also sparked the idea for this book. If one person's unique perspective on the game can help expand my own, what else have I been missing? I'm no genius, but I knew well enough to assume there was much more to learn. This book will not make you a better basketball player. How could it? Its author can barely dribble to his left. And I want to get that embarrassing fact out of the way early, lest anyone who is familiar with my handles comes forward to initiate a public shaming. Nevertheless, I still love the sport. It just works. Whether as a whole or broken down to its disparate parts, basketball has something for everyone. The question of how and why the game remains compelling cannot be answered from a single point of view. The NBA may never invite a ballet choreographer to judge its annual slam dunk contest, and you probably won't hear a magician analyze Kyrie Irving's handles on SportsCenter. But these surprising founts of basketball wisdom are worth listening to. With this in mind, I sought out some of the smartest and most interesting people I could find and approached them with the same simple request. Would you like to talk about basketball? I'm unsure whether the chemists, professors, casting directors, philosophers, and everyone else who agreed to chat about hoops thought they were going to greatly broaden my own understanding of how the game works. But each and every one managed to do just that. What follows is an attempt to collect and contextualize all those little epiphanies so that I can share them with you. Who knows? If this goes well, maybe they'll let us take a crack at those UFOs too. Section 1. The shape of the game. Topics discussed in this section: where basketball comes from, grievous bodily harm, Reese's